Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I'm Michael Gobadia. Here are our top stories. Federal government strengthens diplomatic ties with Palestine and Saudi Arabia. Former Governor Suswan officially joins APC in Benue. Federal government criticized slow rollout of free electricity meters. And Diziani trial, UK contractor reveal luxury property and also unpaid bills. And talking sport, Taekwondo Federation unveils grassroots focus calendar. Now to the news in full. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, has received the Ambassador of the State of Palestine to Nigeria, His Excellency Mahmoud Hamori, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja. A statement from the ministry on Wednesday said the meeting was part of ongoing diplomatic engagement to strengthen bilateral relations between Nigeria and Palestine, with discussion covering consular, humanitarian, and regional issues of mutual interest. In a separate engagement, the Foreign Affairs Minister on Tuesday also hosted the Saudi Arabia Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Tafik Fawaz, and his delegation. Talk focused on deepening cooperation between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, particularly in pilgrimage management and related consular matters. This diplomatic engagement comes amid heightened security cooperation as the United States on Tuesday deployed a small team of troops to Nigeria. The move marked the first official U.S. military presence in the country since airstrikes against terrorist groups on Christmas Day 2025. U.S. officials say the development or deployment follows agreement with the federal government to strengthen effort against rising terrorist threats in West Africa. Still talking security, at least 162 people have been killed in coordinated attacks in Mworo and Nuku village in Kwara State, Kiama local government area, making it one of Nigeria's deadliest assaults this year. Lawmakers said the attack carried out on Tuesday were linked to Lukurawa, an armed group with ties with the Islamic State, though no group have officially claimed responsibility. Witnesses reported government stormed the village's tied-up residents and opened fire, while homes and shops were also set ablaze. Many survivors fled into nearby bushland, and several, including village traditional rulers, remained missing. Residents said the attacker had previously preached in the communities demanding villagers adopt Sharia law. Those who resisted were reportedly executed. Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak condemned the killing, calling them a cowardly act by terrorists responding to intensified military operation. The Nigerian military has stepped up operation in the region which borders Niger State, where armed groups have expanded activities in recent years. In a separate incident, at least 13 people were also killed in Doma village, Katsina State, as violence continues to sweep across northern Nigeria. Away from that, former Benue State Governor Gabriel Suswan has officially joined the All Progressive Congress, leaving the People's Democratic Party. Suswan completed his APC membership registration on Wednesday at his Mbaba Council Ward in Logo local government area. The exercise was conducted through the party's e-registration platform, with the state chairman presenting his new membership card. Suswan has earlier cited persistent internal conflict within the PDP as a reason for his defection, describing dispute over leadership, structure, discipline, and ideology as unresolved. In a statement before his defection, he expressed gratitude to the PDP for decades of service as a member of the House of Representatives, member and also a governor and a senator, but said the party no longer offered a clear path to resolution of its internal crisis. Only about 200,000 smart readers and meters have been installed so far under the federal government $500 million World Bank supported distribution sector recovery program, DIPSREP, officials have revealed. At press briefing in Abuja on Wednesday, the Bureau of Public Enterprise and other power regulators admitted that while nearly 700,000 meters have been delivered to the country, installation by electricity distribution companies remain slow. DIPSREP, which aimed to roll out about 3.2 million meters over 4 years, provides smart meters free of charge to consumers, with costs recovered through regulated tariff. Officials stress that the program is critical to closing Nigerians' estimated 5.66 million meter gap and ensure adequate billing for electricity users. Speaking at the briefing, BEP Director General Ayodeji Leyi described deep reps as a landmark transaction for Nigeria, while the chief technical advisor to the Ministry of Power, Adebayo Niyi, called the slow deployment numbers really not encouraging. NERC chairman Muslim Alaneko added that meters help rebuild trust between utilities and consumers, warning against misinformation and meter tampering. Officials said efforts are ongoing to accelerate installation with the world technical assistance and reforms across distribution segments. The managing director of Dangote Petroleum Refinery, David Bird, has clarified that about the $20 billion United States facility is not importing finished fuel for sale. Speaking to journalists at the Lekki refinery on Wednesday, Bird explains that the refinery operates a merchant refined model, sourcing crude and intermediate feedbacks rather than crude. It said materials brought into the plant were semi-finished product used to keep the refinery processing utilities fully optimized and convert low-value residuals into high-quality fuels. I'm a refinery. I have no interest in importing finished product, Bird stated. Bird added that the refinery is already producing cleaner fuels that meet global standards, including gasoline with 50 parts per million sulfur, and is technically ready to meet 10 ppm when Nigerian upgrades its fuel specification. He highlighted that products from the refinery have been successfully exported internationally, including gasoline to the United States and aviation fuel to other markets. Dangote Refinery MD expressed or emphasized that the facility operations ensure high-value fuel production, improve operational flexibility, and contribute to the public health by supplying cleaner fuels. With that news, we go on a break now, but when we come back, more news as it concerns the foreign scene, sports, and business.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. The bribery trial of Nigeria's former petroleum minister, Diezani Alison Madueke, continued today, or rather yesterday, at the Southwark Crown Court in London, with testimony from a former building contractor detailing high-end property renovation linked to the ex-minister. Tony Mukari, a former director of Bear Rock Construction, told the court that his company carried out major refurbishment between 2011 and 2014 on several London properties allegedly used by Alison Madueke and her family. He also presented emails, financial reports, and floor plans showing extensive works, including the installation of a residential lift for the minister's mother and a top-floor apartment designated for her son. He said the total cost of work at one property reached about $2 million. He also confirmed direct contact with Alison, including meetings to review materials and text message exchanges about lighting and design choices. He also told the jury his company faced repeated payment delays from Nigerian businessman Kolawole Aluko, including or leading to serious financial strain. In one instance, the £200,000 payment was delayed, prompting Bear Rock to withhold a Harrods delivery at leverage until the funds were released. Further evidence indicated that Aluko's company, Tenka Limited, managed expenses for the properties, including staff salaries, utilities, and maintenance. He said attempts to resolve debt through legal channels were ultimately unsuccessful, and Bear Rock Construction went into voluntary liquidation. Alison Madueke is standing trial alongside oil executive Olatunbo Ayinde and her brother Daye Agama on 5-count link to alleged bribery. All three defendants have pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors alleged that her luxury London lifestyle was funded by business figures seeking influence over Nigeria's oil sector through luxury goods and property assets rather than cash. The defense insists that she had no direct control over contractors' awards and that the arrangements were lawful. Meanwhile, supporters from Nigerian Ijaw community filled the public gallery showing solidarity with the ex-minister. The John National Congress described her as our daughter and highlighted broader grievances over oil wealth and underdevelopment in the Niger Delta. The trial is expected to continue with further testimony from Tony Mokari. Away from that, and now to the foreign scene, Russia President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping held a video call to discuss strengthening cooperation, maintaining strategic stability, and managing their relation with the United States. According to Kremlin transcript, Putin described ties with Chinese as an important stability factor amid global turbulence. He said both countries will continue close coordination through multilateral platforms, including the United Nations, the BRICS, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Xi Jinping called for a grand plan to further bilateral relations, describing cooperation as moving in the right direction. The Kremlin aide said Putin has accepted Xi's invitation to visit China in the first half of 2026. The leaders also exchanged views on relations with the United States, with both countries emphasizing equal and mutual beneficial cooperation based on international law. The video call comes amid growing Western engagement with China as leaders from Britain, Canada, Germany seek closer ties for intention with the Trump administration. Away from that, talking sports, the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation has unveiled its 2026 calendar of activities with a strong focus on grassroots development and talent discovery. The calendar was presented and approved at the Federation Board meeting held at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja. In a communique released after the meeting, the board said zones will be encouraged to organize more tournaments to scout young talents, while zonal camps will be introduced to select players for the national camp and identify emerging talents. The Federation also stressed the need for early preparation ahead of the All-African Championship schedule to hold in Morocco in April, as it sees corporate and individual sponsorship. To strengthen administration, the board approved a four-man committee to develop guidelines to curb, or rather for club registration and affiliation, review challenges with outlets registration and licensing, and agree to begin grade coaching and referees for proper selection and rating. The NTF president also dissolved all standing committee, announcing that new ones will be constituted soon. A 1-minute silence was observed in honor of the late father of the Federation, Vice President Reverend Abba. Still talking sport, Manchester City will face Arsenal in the League Cup final after defeating Newcastle 3-1 at the Etihad Stadium on Wednesday, ending Newcastle reign as holders. City first half bleeds set the tone with Oman Mamouche scoring twice and Tijani Ridas adding another. Anthony Elanga pulled one for Newcastle after in the interval, but City 5-1 aggregate win secured the spot in the showpiece final at Wembley on March 2022. The victory comes as a boost for Pep Guardiola's side, who recently drew 2-2 with Tottenham, leaving them 6 points behind Arsenal in the Premier League title race. Guardiola makes 6 changes to the lineup, resting key players, including Erling Haaland, yet City dominated with clinical finishing. Mamouche opened the scoring in the 70th minute with a fortunate bounce past the goalkeeper before heading home his second in the 29th minute. Raiders completed the first half surge with a composed finish in the 32nd minute. The City maintained control in the second half, allowing Newcastle a late consolation through Elanga, but the result confirmed City returned to the League Cup final for the first time since 2021. With our sporting news comes the end of the news on Atlantic TV. I will always emphasize, if we have any newsworthy reports and you want us to do, we'll definitely oblige you. Just reach us on our different social media platforms. I remain Michael Gobadia. Bye for now.